Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Danger Knock podcast. Today, we're going to be talking about the season one, I was going to say premiere of Penguin. I already fucked it up, but we can keep going.
There's no way.
I'm going to try again. Okay.
Nah, you gotta keep going again. Just
All right, fine. Okay, we're talking about Penguin, all right? And I got a special guest here today.
chicken.
I was going to say my brother in arms, my brother in Christ, but he's just my brother. Here's-
Jamo.
Yeah, I was going to be
Haroon.
like Haroon Mian. I'm going to put a little thingy below.
Ats and whatever.
Haroon Mian, Jamo, Ammo, him, whatever he decides to go by, depending on what week it is.
Whatever I want to steal from you.
We'll get to that later, all right? That's the Dr. Phil episode where we unpack our trauma together. Baba.
What's not?
What? Anyways, we just spent we as in me just spent 50 minutes trying to figure out
I
how
feel
to get
good
these.
that I'm not a part of what you just did.
We literally spent 40 to 45 minutes trying to figure out how to get these two mics working after they literally were just working. And then I just looked down and I realized that this mic was muted. So
Another moment.
that's where we're at today. But yeah, so today we're going to be talking about the Penguin because there was a period of like a month or so where I had to babysit him since he's a little kid. And we just watched the Penguin every Sunday night. And we're like, yo, this shit kind of slaps low key. Even though I knew, obviously I knew. But the reason why I have him today is because he's like an outside perspective, a person who's not into comic books, which is kind of funny. I'm the older brother, like, hey, did you see this superhero? He did a cool
Our
thing one
rooms are
time.
completely different.
As you can see from behind him, probably. What's that look like in your screen?
It's pretty
All the
crisp.
Funkos are covered now. Who cares? Anyways, what were we gonna say?
I was saying our rooms are different.
Oh yeah, his room is just very.
It's like
Just-
minimalistic almost.
I wouldn't say that. It's just a lot of miscellaneous things that he hangs up that he's gotten as gifts.
Yeah, but it's like a uniform like color and scheme, and yours is just colorful pop.
I forget I have to let you
Stuff.
talk. That's an issue. But okay, so I should have pulled this up before. We're gonna pull up an episode by episode synopsis. Oh, and by the way, obviously spoiler alerts. If you haven't seen it, listen, I'll sacrifice my 12 views right now. Stop watching this and go watch The Penguin and get back to me. And you don't necessarily have to watch the Batman first, but it will help giving you some context. And honestly, I just think that that's one of the better movies of this decade. So please go watch it. As if I made it.
They're
I
dragging on.
feel like
too.
I'm getting a check off of it, but I'm not. But yeah, so we're gonna just pull up Penguin episode synopses.
King of the Sea.
I didn't spell that right. So this is where editing magic happens. We're not gonna even be in this part. We're gonna cut to this part. Okay, so should I screen record this?
I was gonna ask if you were.
Capture. How to do the entire screen?
That's one of those options.
Okay. So we got the episode by episode ratings on IMDb, and just look at this fucking heat right now. Episode 1, 8.8, banger. Episode 2, 8.5, banger. 9.0, 9.4, 8.8, 8.7, 9.0, and 9.6. It's literally one of the highest rated shows on IMDb ever. So if that doesn't really fully explain how goated this show is, then you need to go watch it. You don't even need to watch Batman. Just watch the show. It's almost like I was talking to my, what's it called, cousin-in-law, Garfield.
Oh,
And he's really not interested in comic book movies or anything of that sort.
he's
But
interested.
yeah, he enjoys it because
Yeah.
it caters to an audience that doesn't have to, as we in the community call it, cape shit. Cape.
What?
I don't know.
No.
I knew I should. This is why I need a fellow nerd here, not this guy. He's too cool for me.
Shit.
Cape, not cave.
Cape. I know cape shit.
Yeah,
Like-
cape shit. It's just like
Like in the wind.
superhero bullshit.
in the wind.
So people who are not
Reflections.
interested in that will still be interested in the show because it's basically just like,
Crimes.
yeah, I was gonna say Sopranos on crack, but I've never seen Sopranos. So,
I like crack though.
God, every time he makes a joke and it's funny, it's because of me. All right, I trained him. Um,
So everything bad is
okay,
also
so
you.
let's. I want to get your opinion because as a person who's not into comics, when you like watched like the first episode,
Can't remember. But
that's like kind of
what was it about?
it was when he was like with Alberto Falcone.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
He was like
So
sneaking around and stuff.
yeah,
Snooping.
I think what they did in this show is like they really like it was like a roller coaster of emotions on how you felt about Oz because at some points it's like, oh man, poor guy, this guy's like getting like kicked while he's down and there no one's like believing in him and everyone's like pushing him to the side, and then the moments later he'll just do one of the most,
Get him.
he'll do one of the most fucked up shits you've ever seen. Like 10 seconds later, he's all right. What murder?
All right, turn around.
Man, but I think one of the things about this show that I was kind of a lot of people were intrigued about is how they were going to expand this Gotham universe that Matt Reeves has kind of set in the Batman. And
It was good for DC production wise
yeah,
because usually DC is just horrible editing.
so listen, this is the I was not gonna say the misconception because it is a fairly fair conception of fucking DC right now that I talked about on the previous podcast about the Joker. That DC's like has been in the shitter for like the past forever, basically.
Since whatever.
But in this new regime with James Gunn, this Matt Reeves universe falls under that now, but it's gonna be kept in its own world. So the new Superman movies that's coming out and all these other movies that have been announced, they're not going to be coinciding with this Batman universe, which I like in a way that they don't have to worry about introducing those elements to impact this story.
So Batman's not a part of like this universe in a sense.
Yeah, he's like it's
Robert
like its
Pattinson
own
Batman?
separate universe of Robert Pattinson Batman. But you've seen the Batman and you've seen the Dark Knight. How would you compare those two things or movies?
Well, I've seen The Dark Knight like a while ago when I was younger, and I liked how like the idea of Joker was like he was portrayed really like well as a bad guy. I think the recent Jokers are kind of not that great in my opinion, but I think they need to get back to like a more like I guess gruesome kind of Joker and more like evil and just like unhinged crash out Joker, whatever. But no, yeah, I think that this new like the Riddler was all right, but he's kind of like too soft in my opinion. Like Joker was just doing whatever. He's I guess doing it in a more smart way, which is like more thinking and that's more detective or what's true to Batman. But
he's also a big dumbass, the Riddler, because he's like, oh, I'm gonna fight corruption and I'm gonna stop the elites of Gotham. So you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna just fuck up all the poor people's lives and just big fucking idiot. And that's why even Batman's like, yo, you're a big dumbass, you're a psychopath. And he's like, wait, what? And he literally thought him and Batman were on the same side for the entirety of the Batman movie, I guess until the end where he starts like crashing out.
When your heroes become your villains, but they're actually heroes.
But that's the one thing that I'm looking forward to in the future Batman movies that are coming out with Robert Pattinson is like, I want him to like really fuck up an actual villain. Like he never actually got his hands.
What do you think is going to be the next villain?
So, okay, that's actually a good segue. You know what? This is why we pay this kid.
Nothing.
So one thing about this show was, since it's a show about a villain, the side characters are also in relation other villains. So there's not really a hero protagonist aside from, because I wouldn't call like Oz a hero. He's just
a protagonist.
He's a protagonist.
It's about him, but he's not necessarily a good guy.
But excuse me.
Excused.
All right, that's enough of you. So they introduced both Sophia Falcone and Alberto Falcone, and in the comic books, like they have a prominent role in this book right here, The Long Halloween. And one thing that we were talking about on the previous podcast, we as in me and by myself, was the Joker 2, the sequel, how it strayed so far away from what the Joker actually is, and it was a detriment to their character. And one could say that these characters in the show and the movies are a departure from how they kind of operated in, for example, the Long Halloween. But that doesn't mean that they're not good characters and they're not um, included as a plot device to further the story in a meaningful manner. Whereas in Joker 2, it was just the most fucking, it was the dumbest shit ever and it had served no purpose. So I think that Matt Reeves and Lauren LaFranc, I think is her name, is the showrunner of the Penguin, really fleshed out these villain characters and gave them a unique backstory that no one's seen before. So it prevented us from being able to guess what's happening.
It's kind of similar to what Marvel's doing. They're kind of taking like those smaller characters and kind of
Yeah.
giving them a name for themselves and kind of getting people interested in the characters that you probably would not be so interested in, especially as a comic book fan. So it's interesting.
Yeah,
to see
like
how they can-
Venom.
Venom's not popular.
Oh no, I wouldn't say like, but like
Oh.
the where they're
I'm
making.
talking about like even like Iron Man. I don't think it was that
okay.
popular as a
Yeah,
comic
yeah,
book,
yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So like that's kind of like nice that they can just flip some small story into like a big cinematic
Yeah,
way.
yeah, I totally agree because I think that one thing about comic books is that they're so vast in stories and in material that you can pull from almost anywhere and make it an interesting story. Because if people were interested enough to read it, you can make it interesting enough for people to watch it.
We watch anything, yeah.
Yeah, people, yeah, watch Subway Surfers if we have to. Subway Surfers, the musical, all right? Fucking. And so, yeah, Penguin is like, it was a character that a lot of people may have like known like as a household name, but may have only associated it with like what's it called? The Tim Burton movies where, what's his face? Danny DeVito was
No
the
idea.
Penguin.
I,
Yeah,
just,
and
I
so
knew him from
exactly.
Lego Batman.
It's been so many years, right? And the newer generations, even me, I haven't even like watched that, which is surprising. I feel like I don't want to watch those movies because I feel like
It'll
it's gonna
the
ruin
new- the new stuff
my
coming
understanding
out.
of Batman, of being like how, like, because my introduction was through the Dark Knight and the shows where it was a more of a serious take. But I do need to go back and kind of fully enjoy the character for what he is throughout history. But like Haroon was saying, emphasizing these smaller characters really allows you to kind of establish like that character in popular culture in a way that takes it seriously. So for example, Sophia Falcone, right? Not many people know what that character, like who that character was, because she's not like a prominent, like she's not a Justice League member, she's not like fighting Superman.
Or even
There's-
as a bad guy.
Yeah, but people are able to see like how deep that character can go in a story like this with the Penguin, and it's become literally a fan favorite. Just a bunch of just mommy TikToks of fucking
I've
so.
not seen him.
All right, maybe that's just my algorithm. Listen, I won't deny it. No, but having her be in the show and just doing what is it, her name? Kristen Milioti, doing a fantastic job of just like a kind of,
That's his own
I'll-
mob boss name.
I know, having her own like just stoic demeanor, and just is almost like creepy just watching her operate and just stare at people with a blank
like-
expression.
Emo on steroids or whatever.
Yeah, so having her being introduced into this world is a good replacement, I think, for Falcone or Carmine Falcone in the first movie, because he was a character that held a lot of weight whenever he walked into a room. So to have him gone, you need to have like a good replacement. And she kind of commanded a room in her own way, and you could see kind of how she built up that kind of power throughout Gotham and within the mob families, and based off of like a tragic backstory where we kind of actually feel bad for her
It's
as
borderline like Joker story, I feel like.
yeah, if like when they have like the Joker be like a person who is normal but got like abused or whatever,
Trauma and all
and then
that.
trauma turned them into what they were today. But yeah, so I would agree with that. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna like briefly like go by each of the episodes and just kind of say what we remember from it and how that incorporates into what the show ended up becoming and where we think it's gonna go forward. So we can like kind of combine a couple.
Inside Man, what is that?
So the first two being, we get introduced to Oz
okay.
after Gotham City gets flooded by the Riddler, and he's just like doing dumb shit. He's like killing Alberto.
That's episode 2 when they recap that.
Or episode
flood?
1, they don't even like talk about it much. They're just kind of showing you that the city's flooded and he's like running quote unquote errands for the Falcones, and he is making his own plans, or is trying to, I think, steal from Carmine's
Hmm.
the club, and that's where Alberto walks in on him, and then he has that whole thing with him. But um, maybe instead of getting too into the weeds, we could go character by character basis throughout how they like were in the show, and then just give our thoughts on that. So I think one of the early characters that we got introduced to, besides Sophia Falcone and the Penguin, was Salvatore Moroni,
Maroney.
played by the same guy who
Money,
plays
money, money,
Spon-
money, money.
who plays I was gonna say Krusty Krab, Mr. Krabs.
Mr. Krabs.
But what did you think of Moroni?
He's all right. I mean, he's like kind of like a horrible bad guy. He doesn't even like stand his ground or whatever. Like
I think he stands his
nah,
ground. It's just
towards
he's
the end,
old.
like, I mean, we're spoiling. It's like he lets his like whole family just die, and like he doesn't even really do much about it. Doesn't get no
he
revenge.
he lets he tries to get revenge, but he just doesn't know how. I feel like
He's
he's
just a horrible bad guy.
yeah. I think he's not as intelligent or as witty or
He's
on
just
his
angry.
He doesn't think on his feet as much as Oz and Sophia does. He's more of like a honorable bad guy.
He
who's
just has
like,
the status
does-
of a bad,
yeah,
like a top
he-
bad guy.
his
mob
ba-
boss.
his main kind of operation is honor as opposed to like conniving, whereas Sophia is kind of doing things out of revenge.
Well, she's kind of trying to make a name for herself. I feel like trying to establish.
Ooh, I'm about to make a name for myself.
No, but she's like trying to establish like something for her, like achieve something. He's already achieved it, I guess. So he's kind of, but he's
Yeah.
rotting in jail. So I don't know what he's so
He's in
happy
the-
about. But
He's in the twilight of his years, and one thing about this whole like jail operation is that people just be getting in and out of jail.
that's just movie jail.
Yeah, it's like movie jail. But I liked his character because I feel like he's the epitome of like the old regime. Like
Yeah.
Carmine's already dead, and him and Carmine had their feud. So now that Carmine's gone, Maroni's like just angry into the void until Penguin shows his stupid face up again, and Maroni's like, "Oh yeah, I can be mad at someone again." And then, yeah, fucking Penguin just tries to make a deal
I
with him.
respect Penguin. He's a one man army.
He tries to get. He's man.
He's
the
a
one
one
thing
man.
about him is that he can just talk his way out of anything, and
Some-
he'll
some
get
we
people
know,
on his side.
Some people we know.
Yeah, well, that's for the Patreon.
Link in
but,
bio.
but yeah, I liked Moroni, but I think that they realized that he didn't kind of operate in the story as like pushing much forward, as opposed to being the enemy of the old regime of Carmine.
Hmm.
So the way he died was kind of like anticlimactic, which I think
I forgot. Oh yeah.
he gets like a heart attack fighting.
yeah, it was so whack.
Oz. But I think that kind of serves its own perfect purpose because it shows.
How whack he was.
No, not only that. Well, I think it just shows Penguin that like he didn't get satisfaction from
Killing him
killing him.
because
Like he just
didn't win
dies,
the fight. He just
and that's why he's like, "No, fight me so I can kill you." And that's why Maroni's literally dead on the
he's
floor.
like, what are you doing? He's like, come on, man.
He's like, "No," and he's like, "Look at me." He's like, at first you're like thinking he wants to save his life so he doesn't die, but then he's like, "No, I don't want you to die because I want you to be alive to know that I beat you." And then he doesn't really get that, and it kind of like fucks him up because his whole operation was to prove him like wrong and like get one over on him. And so he's like, whatever, and then just shoots him out of whatever. But he ends up putting his
That
Maroni's
ring's
ring
been
on.
getting tossed around like
The ring's a fucking hoe. Anyways, what else? Sophia Falcone just literally all time. If she doesn't win an award for the show, Kristen Milioti,
I would say it's a good actress. It's a pretty good actress.
she man, because you can feel.
I forget
on-
I'm watching. Like you, that's the whole
Yeah.
point. I forget I'm watching TV.
yeah, like that she's just so naturally like commanding, but also in the scenes like there were like kind of flashbacks, you feel like really bad for everything that's happening to her and fearful with her when she gets sent to
They do
Arkham.
that with like almost every character. You feel bad, and then you like hate them, and then you feel bad, and then you
Yeah,
hate them.
like even Maroni, like his family got like cracked for no reason.
You're like, ah, man. But then you're like, oh yeah,
Uh-huh.
sell drugs to everybody.
But yeah, so I think Sophia Falcone is a very interesting character, and I'm glad that she was not killed off. And I'm interested to see how she kind of plays out in the future of the universe, knowing that Selena Kyle Catwoman, who's her half
She gave
sister,
her like a phone call or something.
no,
right?
she's the letter in jail,
yeah.
and then so she smiled. So now we're like,
Does she know her? Maybe.
I don't think Sophia knows her, but I think,
Why she smile?
huh?
Why she smile?
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. We need to figure that out. Like, why she's smiling. I don't think she's smiling because she messaged her. I think it's what's in the message that she's smiling at.
See.
And I think Selena knows who she was because obviously she keeps eye on Carmine up close, so she would know that he has those
Kids.
Alberto and Sophia.
R.I.P. Alberto.
So I want to know what their like whole operation is together. And they've announced that they're gonna try to make more spin-off shows of the Batman. And since the Batman's coming out in 2 years, I'm not sure if they might be able to pull that off in the in between.
One more show for
One
sure.
more show in between. I like that's what I hope so, because
But I don't
having
know.
2 years a gap from the show, even when
I mean, next
when the-
season would be what? I don't
when the
even
Batman
know.
was already 2 years ago, so it would be like a 4 year gap between the movies, which I guess is not insane in terms of like sequels, since we're like very spoiled these days.
Yeah, it's just.
But I think like between the Dark Knight and Dark Knight Rises, there was also
But do you think they had an idea if they wanted a new movie, or they just recently wanted a new movie?
for the Batman Part 2.
No, for Batman, like because the whole new actor and everything, like it's a whole almost like new movie.
Oh, you mean no? I'm talking like between like the
said
Bane,
Dark-
the Bane movie.
Yeah, Dark Knight, the Bane's and like Joker, to like now.
Oh yeah, that's like a separate. That
That's like two different worlds.
yeah,
almost.
that's like they had like Warner Brothers had their own like company changes and stuff like that. So there was going to be a bigger gap between that before they even knew that Matt Reeves was coming on. But in terms of like between like a franchise of like the Dark Knight, like I think the Dark Knight and Dark Knight Rises had like a 4 year gap itself, 2008 and 2012.
Oh,
So I guess we're just like kind of spoiled
hindsight's hard to remember.
in
though.
this era of movies and stuff like that. Just check, make sure it's recording. All right, we're good. That would have been bad.
Mute.
But yeah, I think that one thing that I liked about this show is that villains were actually villains, as opposed to
Write that down.
as opposed to what Sony is doing with their like Marvel universe of like villains, where like Venom and Morbius and whatever. Like, well, Venom is still kind of an anti-villain or hero, I guess.
You just misunderstood.
But Morbius and Craven and whatever the hell else they're doing are like just actual straight
Craven
up.
could be good.
Yeah,
Craven could be good.
the trailer looked pretty cool.
I didn't see it, but like the idea of Craven,
Just
and they've like
hunt-
put him in
yeah.
like a cinematic world, especially with like all the CGI and whatever. Now
Mhm.
you can make him seem like crazy. Like
Yeah, he's
evil.
doing crazy shit in the trailer. He's like fucking fighting Rhino and shit.
Yeah, no, that's
So-
crazy.
I just wish that it was like cohesive enough that it could fit into the Tom Holland Spider-Man universe better.
It's not. Oh, so it's going to, right? Yeah.
We don't know. It's like all like a mess, but we're talking DC now.
Tom's been dropping movies.
Yeah, his ass. He's trying to forget, or like he's trying to like get out of Hollywood. He said in a sense, but listen, do that after
What's he gonna
Spider-Man's
do?
done.
Car commercials.
I don't know. But I think the villains in the Penguin are like very well rounded, well written. Everything in this show is like 10 out of 10 or like up there in between acting, cinematography, storyline.
Guy's glazing.
Listen, this is the wrong podcast if you don't want to fucking see DC get glazed. Fucking, I was thinking Daniel Cormier. Fucking,
What?
every time I say the word DC, I think, all right, we're cooked. What was I saying? But yeah, so I'm excited to see. I kind of miss the fact that like the old regime of like Carmine Falcone and Sal Maroni are like gonna be done, even though it has to be like they have to make way for the new characters. But I just like their cool like vibe of just like classy mobsters.
Nah, I like those like vibes and like just luxury living. And
Like
all that.
literally, Maroni is making dinner for Sophia and that other weirdo
There's-
Julian while they're banging in the next room. Like
Oh, that weird
that
therapy
weird guy. Yeah, yeah. And speaking of,
Not
first
really
of all,
banging. He's kind of just getting whipped or something.
I don't know.
Each their own.
He got what he got his rocks off either way. So, but why am I still recording this? So I'll be edited in post. Was it done? Well, I guess whatever. But yeah, speaking of him, what's his name? Julian Rush. So there's actually a lot of, it's not even speculation anymore that he was supposed to be actually Scarecrow. And so
I don't know Scarecrow's backstory. Is like
he's like a
Therapist.
He's like a psychiatrist who gets too interested in like doing weird experiments on his patients, which is essentially what he became.
Yeah.
But I'll put it up on the screen, but I'll show him right now that they even had in the show in the background. If you like zoomed in, there's like a scarecrow mask and scarecrow like his syringe.
That's a
gloves.
for sure sign.
Yeah, and they even said
that.
in the script that he was originally listed as Scarecrow, but they kind of took it out of the script. But I think kept those elements.
You gotta like kind of milk it.
So I'm not sure if this character will with Theo Rossi, the actor, will continue to be him, or if they'll like have somebody be like
Sophia's therapist is gonna be
or have somebody else come in and like take over that, like, oh, get the ideas from him. But he's already giving creepo vibes and interested in doing weird shit, especially like doing that like hypnotism on
Sophia.
No, on
the other girl,
Penguin's mom.
Remember? No. Yeah,
that's how he got her to look back and like her, like whatever, and he was like kind of there with her through her memories. So
weird.
That kind of psychological aspect of it, like it's very clear that was the intention. So whether they bring him back out in the future movies,
for shows,
right? Yeah, I think they will. I think they need to get more out of him though, because a lot of people didn't really like receive this character as well as amongst others. They just thought he was like a creepo just running around. And which essentially that's what he was.
I mean, they could have made a couple more episodes, even going to depth with him, maybe.
Yeah, but when you got 8 episodes, you gotta like keep it tight. Otherwise, they're just like rambling. But maybe they'll deeper dive on him.
But the first few episodes felt kind of slow.
Yeah, I think I'm used to like watching like slow burn kind of stuff, and I'm just excited to be seeing these characters.
Yeah,
so I think it's a good also litmus test of someone who's not into comic books as much, on how much they like are engaged with a story, apart from
because when you like have like an idea of like the story, you kind of want to know how are they going to show this part, how are they going to show that part. I'm just new to everything, so I'm just like
taking it for face value, which I think that's for like, I'm obviously the biggest fan of like these things, but I feel like it also needs to be in some way be palatable as a standalone piece of work, so that anyone can get into it and be interested. They have that like that kind of what's it called when you're like making fun of something?
Joke? What?
Yeah, it's like kind of like a joke.
Joker
of like Star Wars, where they're like, oh, like this is Glub Shido is making a fucking appearance in the background. They're just making up a dumb character. Where people get excited just because a character is showing up in the background and they serve no purpose. It's just an ugly alien, but like they know like the lore, and that's all that gets them excited, even though the story's dumb.
It's kind of like how Captain America and the Deadpool.
Yeah, they're like it's like fan service basically. Yeah. And I'm big as a fan. I like fan service, but if you want to be successful, you have to appeal to all kinds of potential viewers,
especially new ones.
But speaking of like having Easter eggs, one thing about the show that we were kind of speculating beforehand, where like, what is this going to lead into for the Batman Part 2? And I actually went to go see the Batman for the 5th time in theaters. I probably have all like those pictures.
Maybe you're Joker.
Well, Joker is obsessed with Batman, so I guess in a way. But at the end of the most latest showing that I saw like a couple months ago, they did a sneak preview of the Penguin and showing what would be like what would be coming forward in the show. And a lot of people were doing kind of crazy speculation. Some people were like, oh, since the city's flooded, they're gonna have Killer Croc running around like I was like, all right. I mean, I kind of believed it, but I was like,
if he was in the sewers for a little bit, they could have.
But like this is not the type of show I think that would have Killer Croc.
You need more like normal. You can't have like this crazy mutants.
That's a more fantastical Batman villain. So they're sticking with more like the criminal aspects, which is why they call it the Batman Epic Crime Saga or something.
Well, it sticks more to like his detective, like whatever. Like that's what he is. Like he's a detective.
And especially since that in the new DC universe, which will be a whole nother episode, they're gonna have like its own DC universe Batman, which is separate. And he's gonna be doing like fantastical shit.
So is he gonna join into this Penguin?
No, he's not gonna be this. It's gonna be like a separate Batman that's in a universe where like they do crazy shit.
So they're gonna have. You think they're gonna have Batman show up in this Penguin series?
Well, if they make a sequel, but
Maybe they'll have it like
because
have the show segue to the movie. Maybe
yeah, so
to
what
do
they
another
said,
season
they
and
actually
whatever.
said that the ending of the Penguin leads directly into Batman Part Two, which is why at the end, and we have actually like recorded this on my phone of us watching the end of Penguin,
Oh yeah,
and they have the bat signal go up in the sky
yeah. I was
at
gonna
the
bring
very
that
end,
up.
which was like a perfect
So
way to like.
that I don't know if he's gonna come in season 2. Then they kind of has to come in season 2.
Well, I don't even know if
There's
season
no way
two.
you just
I don't
throw
think.
that.
I don't think season two will come before the movie.
Really?
I think what they'll do is they'll if anything comes before the movie, it's going to be another show.
Show.
So they were thinking of doing like a couple of things. One show, I think they scrapped it, was going to be about Arkham and what's going on in there. But I think they talked a lot about that with Sophia's backstory. So they kind of
But
I
there's
think
probably more bad guys they can touch on, like little, like almost like Suicide Squad movie,
yeah,
like
I
just like
think
little characters here and there.
I think one of the things that they might pursue is a GCPD show.
Oh, Gotham.
Yeah,
Police.
and I would love that because you can have like James Gordon running around doing bullshit, Jimmy G,
You could probably have like
Officer
cop-
Martinez from the first movie.
yeah, some cop be the. He can't be a main character though.
But he'll
Hate the way he talks.
You could flesh that character
The
out.
guy who talks weird.
Huh?
Is that the guy who talks weird?
Oh yeah, he was in this show. Out of all of the GCPD, they had his ass in the show.
It's
And
just, I think it's kind of funny. It's
Yeah.
funny to watch him sometimes.
what are you doing? You can't get away with this. Feel bad. Someone's listening to this has this condition. He's like, damn, he's making fun of me by proxy. But yeah. So I would like a GCPD show. Some people are saying like a Catwoman show. What her ass is up to.
Yeah.
It might relate. I think maybe
Riddler's in jail. He's alive.
no one gives a fuck about him. His
Yeah,
ass fucking
he's gonna be on his
incel ass.
computer all day.
But they would have to expand upon a character that had already been introduced. So you're kind of like already like wrapping up there with all the other characters that have been introduced. So you have like GCPD, you have Catwoman, and then they
What
already
do you think about the final clip? You think he's gonna get a? What if he's alive?
Oh fuck, we didn't even talk about the biggest fucking thing about this whole shit, man.
R.I.P.
I don't even wanna
Maybe,
fucking talk about
maybe. I don't think so. I actually don't think he's dead.
Nah, man.
There's no way you just die.
My,
like
my
that.
boy Vic, man.
The way they did it, they can play it off like he's still alive. Honestly,
I think I was so caught up in talking about like the villains of the show, I forgot about the one true hero.
I wanted to bring it up.
The
I
one-
wanted you to bring it up, but I was like, he's not.
I literally
gonna,
forgot about
I was
it.
like, he's not gonna do it. So
It's like
I'll make
literally
sure.
trauma, and I put it away in my memory. Like
I'm sad. I think about it like alone in the car.
I think I went as it happened. Like once, okay, we gotta talk about Vic, man. Well, Victor, what's his last name?
Von Schrager. I don't know.
Some like Hispanic last name. I feel like Aguilar, Victor Aguilar.
How do you not close?
It is his name.
I know I was not close
Oh,
to my.
okay. Man, Vic. I think he was like the perfect like foil to Penguin since he didn't even really want to be there in the first place. And Penguin's whole operation is how do I get higher into this like criminal syndicate or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And he was just like so innocent. And then when he passed up that opportunity to like go with his girl to California or whatever, I was like, fuck. I was like, this is not when you make a decision like this, it does not bode well.
God, focus on your career, man.
You don't make a decision like that and they make it all dramatic and then you just become successful.
No, what he did though is crazy.
What?
Drove the car into them.
Oh, so he comes back not only from almost leaving.
He stole the car. First of all, he stole his car.
He goes back from almost leaving to doing the most insane shit.
The most he's done for him, helping him the most he's ever has.
And then it gives you an insight of the Penguin and how his ass is like crazy and like and very like conniving and just two-faced
Two-Faced.
in the sense that he was that
He kind of
that conversation he was having with Sophia is like, I could teach you how to trust me and you can trust me and blah blah blah. And then he comes through, hits fucking Vic comes through and hits like the goons of Maroney's or whatever.
the Persian
And
lady,
then
yeah.
he's even like, and then Vic is like, oh, what about Sophia? He's like, fuck Sophia, get the fuck out.
Literally minutes right after.
Immediately after, which like it just shows like his like lying nature and his just selfish nature, and that nothing he says, if
Even with
means
his mom.
he'll lie to his mom. Like
No, even at the end, like she's like, "I know what you did," and he's like, "No."
bro, there's actually
He
so
just
much to
stood on
talk about.
business
That
every
every time you say something, it reminds me of a whole fucking slew of things.
I'm thinking of the ending mostly. That's why.
What did you think about like his relationship with like his mom
It's
and all
annoying. It's so annoying.
I would say it's freaking weird. It's just
It's not even a mama's boy. It's just like,
It's like an incestual,
especially the
Oedipus.
flashbacks as a kid. A little twerp.
Man, I was literally watching the flashbacks, and I was like, "Bro, I hate the kid version of him more than I hate
More evil.
him
He was even more evil.
back then."
He killed his own brothers. Like, they had no remorse.
And my one concern with the show up until that point was going to be that, like, bro, this kid version of him is like literally a psychopath. Like, this is insane. How could, like, he's not even acting like this now, but then it comes to a point where he
What
goes
even
back.
made him like that? He just was ignored.
He was
by
just
his
like
mom?
that. He was just a monster.
They
Like,
never touched how he got his legs. Do you know how his legs are?
he just has a condition where his legs fucked up.
Oh, okay.
But I think that was a good kind of way of like showcasing the Penguin and his like evilness.
It's
Is
just
that
been
there was
there.
no one expected that there could have been a reason. They always have
Like
like,
how Sophia and Joker have their traumas. Why does he have his
that's
evil?
the beauty of it is that he's just evil.
That's beautiful, huh?
It's interesting because every other movie or show that goes along these lines of like giving a backstory to a villain wants to like humanize them in a sense and be like, oh, this is why they're bad. This is why.
Be understanding. Love him.
As a kid, this dude was a freakazoid murderer.
Locked him in a sewer
Locked his
all
own
night.
brothers
Kept looking in the windows like, nah.
and smiling.
He's like, I'm with
He's like,
mommy.
no,
I'm
yeah.
with mommy now. It's like,
Literally just a freak. And to the point where his own mom is like, yo, I want to kill this kid.
yeah, when she found out.
When
I'm
she
surprised
showed
she didn't do
fucking
anything.
Rex Calabrese, whatever. He's like, yo, you're hired. Like, literally.
He's like, this is what
Like,
I need.
He's like, you could use this kid's freakazoidness to his benefit, but... Which, I mean, people blame the mom, but like... How are you gonna, like... It's hard to kill
We're
your
not
own
in that
kid.
position.
To kill your own kid like that, even though as much of
Not
a
even
freak,
kill, but like even put him in jail or like expose him.
yeah. So
She
and
did
that's
ever,
and
like-
then at that point, that's your only kid that you have left.
Yeah.
So she just kind of like
and she used
doubles
him
down in
literally
that
later.
psychosis.
Yeah.
That's a real Foley ado as a callback to the last
Foley?
episode. Yeah, that little kid did look like H Foley. I'm not gonna lie.
Ole.
Um,
Smarted.
keeping that in. What's it called? But yeah, back to Vic, man. Like, what an innocent, pure soul. And then even when he would like do something quote unquote bad, it would be to not someone who was like worse. Like when he had to kill that other like gangster guy who was like getting
it
too
was just
curious.
Annoying. Just
He-
super annoying.
He didn't revel in it.
It wasn't
or
even like
whatever.
good. It was just like, give me a job. Give me a
Nosy
job."
ass. His nosiness, his curiosity killed his ass.
Vic's like, nah.
But even Vic wasn't even happy about it, and Penguin was just like proud of him. Like, oh, it gets easier.
It gets easier.
Which kind of just shows like,
My first one was 8.
but I think he was like the perfect character to kind of use as a tool to show how crazy.
innocent. Plus, he had like nothing going for him.
Because in a world where if everyone's bad, you kind of have a justification that, oh, the Penguin is just kind of trying to survive in this world of evilness, right? But with the person like Vic, who's like an angel, he even kills him. And I think he kills him not because he's angry or mad at him. He kills him because he loves him.
he doesn't want like
And he doesn't want that as someone else to utilize that against him like they did with his mom. If you have no one to get
Nah,
kidnapped,
that's why-
right? Then it doesn't care. Everyone's expendable. So that's why he had like tears in his eyes, like you're a good man, whatever, blah blah blah, and killed his ass.
Man, just send him somewhere else. Like they'll
Man, they
find
should have
him.
just shot it, like shoot him in the head.
Let
so
him
he
go
never
to
knows.
his
Like
girls in
Lenny.
California. Let him go back to California.
Literally be like, here's money, don't ever come back here, and then just live your life.
Yeah, but he knows Vix probably loves him so much. He'll come back anyways. Simple.
Not only that, he's just a psychopath. He's not gonna have anything, no like variables left to kind of be used against him. But man, I felt that shit was so sad. It was sad, but part of me was like at that point like expecting it, and I was surprised. It was so crazy because I had thought
It was so suspenseful when he was like just sitting on the.
I thought they made it,
bench.
man. Like Vic, I thought he was gonna die in like another episode and be used as a tool
For like motivation or whatever.
for Penguin to like really flip and just go crazy. Like let's say Sophia kills.
I don't think he's dead though.
he could be alive and just
There's
like,
a 50-50, but no, like he's probably just passed out. There's no way. How do you kill somebody like
But
that?
I think if
easily?
you bring him back, it kind of takes away a part of like.
No, but he like wakes up, he's like a man, and he runs his own
So
business.
people were trying to think that Vic was going to turn into this character called Victor Zaz, who is like a serial killer who every time he kills someone, he marks himself with a knife to show like, oh, I killed
It's kind of
someone.
tough, actually.
He like tally marks his whole body.
It's
Of
like a Killmonger.
yeah, Killmonger did that
Yeah,
similar
Killmonger.
thing. But people would think like, oh, when Vic got his head hurt, like injured in the car accident, that he was gonna like be just like a freak after that, just be on a killing spree. But he went back to
It's an
normal,
interesting take.
which is but so people are like, what if he like someone's like, what if Batman puts him in a Lazarus pit and he comes back and he's I'm like, all right, just fucking relax. But
What if Selena finds him?
I don't know.
There's no connection, really.
The fucked up part about what Oz did to Vic, even more so than just killing him, was that he like took his money out of his wallet and threw his ID in the river
So
or
no one
whatever.
can identify him.
So no one can identify him, and it looks like a robbery or a mugging. And if no one identifies him, and Gotham's already like fallen to shit, no one's gonna do a whole operation trying to figure. They're just gonna be like another
Add him
John
to the
Doe.
list.
Yeah, just a statistic, and that's makes it more sad because he wanted to be remembered. He wanted to have some kind of name for himself.
Man, he was fighting through that stutter.
Man, the actor did such a good job because the actor doesn't even have a stutter in real life.
I hope so.
I mean, some people like they'll hire someone who specifically who has it to make the acting more realistic, but he did a fantastic job, and it's kind of sad that he won't be involved in the future projects. But I think doing such a good job and even getting killed off establishes his character in like a different level. Because if he survived and was just another side character, no one really care. But like now in the comment sections of everything is like
He's more remembered, I guess, is what.
yeah, and people are like, "Yo, like Oz, you don't gotta worry about Batman. When I catch you, I'm gonna fuck you up." Like people are riding for Vic in like the comment
Yeah.
sections and online, and people like sharing like videos of like Batman like fucking up Penguin in the Arkham video games. Like people are like, "Yo, I'm logging onto Arkham right now just to beat up fucking Penguin like 10 times in a row."
That's funny.
And so I'm excited. Like when the Batman Part 2 comes on or comes like in the next 2 years, I need Batman to just fucking beat the fucking living shit out.
Do you think it's gonna be like a evil Avengers or like
Like, what do you
Penguin, Riddler, and
Oh yeah, I think they might do something like that where like they're all like
it's a group of just
linking
bad
up.
guys, and he's just like just going at him?
But I need him to like physically beat up the bad guy because he never really did that in the Batman movie. He like fucked up henchmen
Wait, which one?
in this original
Riddler?
with Robert Pattinson. Like, because he never got his hands on Riddler. He was behind
Yeah.
the jail cell.
He's like a little dork. Like if you beat someone, you don't feel satisfied.
His ass needed his ass
There's
beat.
no satisfaction.
But like Penguin, like he fights back a little bit, you know, and he like
he's a big body.
was a big boy.
My boy.
I need his ass to get fucking demolished by fucking Batman. Like this is real fucking psychotic shit that he did. And then he even puts his mother, who's in like a catatonic just coma state,
Just staring at the
and
city.
she literally explicitly told his ass,
Let me die.
"Let me die," and he
Before.
doesn't do that
Well, this
because he
is
wants to
way
like
before.
he wants to prove that he achieved what he wanted to achieve to her. And you even have like a zoom in on her face.
She starts crying.
Like she starts crying, and he thinks it's like a tear of joy because he's a fucking
It's like, no, you
psychopath.
freaking let me live, you idiot. I can't move.
Yeah, and then on top of that, does more psychotic shit. Gets his girlfriend or whatever she is to him, I don't even know, to dress up like his mom.
Oh, that was weird.
And then be like, "Yo,
That was weird.
tell me you're proud of me, and tell me you're happy for me." And she's like, "Yeah, baby, like you did the best, whatever." I'm like, "All right, this guy just fucking
Mommy
be
issues.
just be Carmine and be a bad guy, just like a bad guy." He's like
That's
now
a-
he's like a fucking
No, there
Oedipus.
has to be more deeper
weirdo.
like backstory about his like obsession with his mom. What's his dad? What was his dad?
I don't know what happened with his dad, but I think that they showed the backstory of like he just was like that.
Born like that?
Well,
There's
like
no way.
I mean, there are like fucking weird people on this planet, and he's just one of them.
The airport.
What?
The airport.
Oh, that yeah.
I'm
Hey,
gonna
listen,
say it,
man,
I'm
that's
gonna-
another episode I'm gonna do by myself. That's funny. But yeah, man, justice for Vic. I hope Penguin gets fucking demolished. He's gonna be. They said he's gonna be in the third one too. So that means
Movie?
yeah, they've already announced that there's gonna be like a third one probably.
There's a connection with this character now too.
So they probably won't kill him in the second one. I mean, if that makes any sense.
I think the Riddler's gonna break out, and maybe some other bad guys. And
I think
he might be like the leader of all those bad guys.
So now here's where we're gonna get into like, I guess we didn't talk too much about the show itself on like what happened, but we could talk about like the speculations that they have for where this show is going to lead. And I'll pull up something right now because in the show, actually, they talked about a highlight towards the end of the show was corruption and how that manifests itself within Gotham and within like the crime families. And Penguin got wind of information that Bella Real, who is the new mayor, she's implementing a new like anti-corruption or anti-crime like task force. And so people are speculating that the person who's going to lead this task force is going to be Harvey Dent because he's like the DA who
Okay.
like prosecutes all these villains. So they're thinking that's going to be his introduction in here
Two-Face.
is like the mayor's going to implement him as the main guy and then the Penguin might
He's gonna.
be the one to like scar his face or whatever. Because I think in some of the comic iterations, Penguin is the one who makes Harvey Dent's like face all fucked up.
So he's not like a part of the whatever mayor system. He just got his.
Who, Penguin?
He just got like his everything clean off his slate.
Yeah,
right?
he got everything clean, and he's also gonna try to like implement himself into
Probably
this.
just gonna like use people like black.
But I think he wants to get into Gotham politics because I think that's a I don't know, freaking Penguin 2024.
Penguin for president.
But that happens in like DC where
Bad guys get.
it's actually a comic book trope where like the bad guy becomes president. Like Lex Luthor was president at one point, and in this new Captain America movie, the Red Hulk guy or whatever, he's president.
I don't know that.
So, it wouldn't be the first time we had a villain as a president. You decide which.
Just leave it up to
You
debate.
decide which.
Leave it up to debate.
Um,
Pointing fingers now. Spider-Man meme.
but what's it called? So because of this like deep dive into corruption and the fact that this Batman universe is like a crime saga, when there's actually a huge like speculation that it's almost basic, it feels like it's basically confirmed, but you probably haven't heard of it because your algorithm is not like mine.
What are you looking up?
Bro, this is just AI pictures of penguins in courtrooms. I was just like,
What? The heck? They're gonna segue from the Joker. No, I'm just kidding. God, what a horrible movie.
So in the Penguin show,
are you
when
recording this part too?
no, I'll just like pull it up
Oh,
later.
okay.
But within at the end of the Penguin series in the finale, when Penguin was in the courtroom, the curtains in the background look awfully like owls. People have noticed, and they're literally in a court.
I didn't even notice that.
So I think it's like I didn't notice it either when I first saw it. Like
Yeah.
it just seemed like normal, but people are saying like it has to be a kind of insinuation to like the Court of Owls that are about to show up, because the Court of Owls essentially are like the Illuminati of Gotham.
Yeah.
They work behind the scenes to kind of make like evil
They
shit
run
happen to their
everything.
favor. So
What about
do,
Owl?
do you know
Owl
anything
Man?
about the Court of Owls? Did we watch anything based off of that?
No, I just know like they're kind of like the Illuminati. They kind of just run everything, but I don't think I've seen anybody like be a character or anything.
Okay.
I don't know if they
have
have.
you seen that movie that we watched with the Court of Owls?
Owlman?
Oh, not Owlman.
Oh no.
Then okay, we'll probably have to watch that later. But so I'm very excited for this because this is like a very interesting way to kind of have Batman face like a larger threat that's like even hidden from him. Because
You think he doesn't know? Or yes,
well,
no?
the whole thing about the
He's
Court of
Batman.
Owls is that they like Batman operates in the shadows, and even he was unsure of the Court of Owls actually existing or not. That's how hidden they are, and so he has to find out whether or not
Elites.
they even exist or not, because it's like a folktale. And then he ends up finding out they do exist, and they were pulling all kinds of strings, and he starts unraveling that thing. But the Court of Owls, a cool thing about them is not only are they controlling stuff, they have their own like assassin-like characters called the Talons, which are like martial arts masters. So,
That's such a cool name. Like the
Yeah.
like from the feet or something.
yeah, they're like their claws.
Yeah.
So each Talon is like a zombie assassin that can't really die, essentially. And so they might not implement that aspect of it, the fact that they can't die, but they might implement
Like just
like a
sending
group,
just
and they
killers
send like
after him.
hordes of them. And you're like, Batman's like, fuck, like what do we do? Like,
Albert,
and they literally know, they'll like find out that he's like Bruce Wayne, and they'll come to his
or
house and shit.
estates and whatever.
Yeah, and that really like makes you like
Luckily, he has nobody cares about.
Alfred. But
His son.
but that will kind of give an opportunity to see fight scenes where the Batman, where he's actually like doing
Wait,
a lot more.
His son Damian Wayne.
Yeah.
Was that with Selena?
Yeah. Oh, no, that's with Talia al Ghul. So Ra's al Ghul's daughter.
Oh,
And so she
so
basically
he's
raped
just dating Catgirl, or Catwoman.
Catwoman. Yeah.
Okay. 'Cause I
So
was like, they make like Falcone like that dude's grandpa or something.
so if yeah, if Batman marries
Or
Catwoman, then Falcone will be his grandpa or
that kid's
father-in-law.
like-
Father-in-law. That's
yeah,
what it
that'd be
means.
weird.
Yeah, well, he's dead. So
What'd you
it's
make for
okay.
dinner?
But what's it called? So having the talents come in, well, I want them to showcase more of like that martial art Batman, because right now you just like
He's
like
just,
he was
he's
like
just in the
brawling.
shadows. He's just like
Yeah, but he's just like brawling with these like people who are not like
Like, just,
legitimate
like-
fighters.
yeah,
Like
just,
I want to see a real
random gangsters on the street.
yeah, I want to see like a real like a martial art showdown
More skills from Batman.
where someone comes in just as or just
Maybe even use some like gadgets or whatever.
yeah. I think one thing that they expect in the new ones that his gadget and gear are gonna be like upgraded.
I mean, better spending all this time. Better show me some crazy stuff.
Yeah. And Matt Reeves just recently announced that um Batman in the next movie, like kind of how his like whole feelings on all these situations are, is that he's gonna feel like a lot of the stuff that happened in the first movie is his fault, and he's gonna have trouble like wanting to be the Batman, which is a trope that goes throughout like all of Batman's or most of Batman's kind of iterations. But I need him to get that shit together and want to be the Batman by like halfway through.
Lock him, Batman.
Don't be
a lot of bad
fucking
guys.
Don't be like fuck and then just stay at home and don't do shit.
Work from home.
Work from home Batman's crazy. Just zooming in. Dave, fucking don't do that shit.
Hey, stop it.
You can't even see him. The camera's like
No.
dark. But yeah, so I'm excited to have like the Court of Owls be implemented into this world if that's official. They haven't really announced that. There's also possibilities of having Hush as a bad guy.
Who's Hush?
Hush is a character that's basically like he like works in the shadows and he knows everything about Batman, but Batman knows nothing about him. And he has like a bandaged like face and Batman has no idea who he is. But yet at every turn, Hush is there like dropping clues like, hey, I know you're Bruce, by the way. And like
But he's a good guy or bad guy? Or
he's a bad guy.
oh.
And so
But
he'll
like a easygoing bad guy?
no, well the thing is he somehow manipulates other villains. Manipulate. I could plug that in there's no way I'm gonna find that clip.
I love you, Debo.
But he essentially manipulates all the other villains into doing his work, and Batman's trying to figure out like how the fuck are these villains listening to someone else? And he's pulling the strings until Batman gets like a hold of him and starts finding out the truth. There's like an animated movie of Hush, and then there's like a comic book that are like they're supposed to be of the same story but have their variations. But you guys should check that out if you guys even care. But he's like a cool villain. They even showed in the Batman Part 1 when the Riddler was showing his like montage to him in the video. There was like a big like sign that saying someone was getting hush money, but they put hush on the screen in big, and people were like,
Most people don't know probably, but
yeah, but that's
I'm
definitely on purpose. I feel
Yeah.
like. So that's an interesting option for them to go down. And then obviously the main one that they've already introduced is the Joker in like
he came and visited Riddler, right?
yeah, well they were both in Arkham
Oh yeah.
together.
Just howling laughing.
And so we don't know whether he's going to show up in this next one or be like the finale villain.
I
in,
think
like, part
Penguin
3
might be like maybe he just comes in and breaks everybody out of wherever.
somehow, or maybe like legally finds a way if it's like his political
And
like
then he's like, all right, I got you out. You're black. This is like you gotta own me now and just work for me.
yeah. So that's going to be exciting to see. Do you have any like things that you want to like see in the next movie from what you know about Batman, or just general as like a kind of
What's
it
Penguin's
called?
new car? He has to get a new whip.
oh he did.
What? You got a new car?
You didn't see it at
Which
the
one?
end? He had a Rolls Royce.
Oh yeah, he
purple.
did have the rolls.
He had the purple
Yeah, you
Royce.
should get another one though. You need some sporty.
Nah, he's classy now. He's gonna have drivers and
He's
he
got
has
the
like
money now.
he has the penthouse.
So where does his money come from? That he's just chilling now.
Well, I think now he's like the head of all the mob families
But like,
because there's no.
what are they selling?
Oh, they're selling the
Crayons?
bliss,
Well,
the drug, the mushroom drug, the drops. Everything is his now. Everything that
I thought it blew up in this. Maybe not all of
well,
it.
it's probably like a flash forward scene or something. But
Yeah.
everything that belonged to Maroni or the Falcons is all his now.
And maybe like those like
All the
little
all the
minor,
ancillary
like,
just
yeah.
gangs, and which some people say is why he killed Vic because He
No,
ma-
because he made all the little like
they said the lieutenants.
yeah, like little secondary guys killed their bosses, and
Yeah,
now
he's like, oh, I
he
can't let
probably
this
just
kid.
runs everything now.
Yeah, and he's like, I can't let my lieutenant alive. He'll do the same to me, even though
Yeah.
I don't think Vic would. But
He traded him. He's LeBron. He just got rid of him.
it's like LeBron fucking taking Bronny and just fucking killing his head so he doesn't have to lose the
Not taking my
finals.
job.
But yeah, so I'm excited to see that. But all in all, I think that this was an amazing show. I think that, I mean, obviously at this point, you should have seen it and you shouldn't have been listening to this far if you haven't. But you can let me know in the
Even then,
comments.
like, there's so many things that even after spoilers, you should still like just see how it plays out.
Yeah. So, and I'm excited to watch with like people who haven't watched the show and kind of follow them along as like the twists and turns happen and
Because there's a lot of suspense and things you just don't even expect to just happen.
mhm. And just seeing how fucking Oz
It's a lot of
weasels his way out of every.
damn moments.
Yeah, and that's why I watched Batman so many times in theaters because I would watch with somebody else and just I'd be basically just like watching them watch the
sore
movie.
neck just
I just watched
taking
them
a
watch
peek.
the movie. But yeah. Any other comments on anything that we missed?
So Craven's Marvel.
Yeah, Marvel.
Oh, okay. I wonder what more movies they could probably go off with DC
For, like, villains?
character wise. Scarecrow,
just-
Captain Cold.
Yeah,
They're kind of just like not that great though. I mean, they can make them great. Like, nobody thought Penguin would be like cool to watch, but I mean,
yeah.
some people probably thought. But
I
he's kinda
think
like
I think in this universe they have to stick with like the grounded people. So there may be like some people are like saying introduction of a like Black Mask, who's like another.
Don't
I
know.
know it's kind of now we're getting into the
with the Ra's al Ghul, you can do like a whole like just like a whole show like that area, whatever.
Yeah.
Middle East, I don't know where they are.
Uh-huh.
But if they just get into like their backstories, that'd be cool.
Yeah, and then see how that kind of morphs into like the Gotham Batman because originally Ra's al Ghul wants to recruit Batman to be lead his League of Shadows or Assassins or whatever,
Yeah.
and Batman's like, "Nah, fam, I can't be killing people." And he's like, "What?" And so that's
He's like, you borderline do it anyways.
I don't know if they'll do that if they just stick to Gotham since Gotham's like so fucked as
No,
it
but
is.
I feel like in the future, like they need like a net HBO show, just like a whole Ra's al Ghul,
Yeah.
like just lineage, whatever. Damien's running it, or whatever.
Yeah, and that's another thing that people are wondering if whether like a Robin will be introduced into this universe.
Oh yeah, he has no sidekick in this.
Yeah,
movie.
and I don't know if he will. I think
Or
they-
Nightwing at least. Somebody
they've
like,
kind of like
show
hinted to
up.
these things in ways of like not that this kid like character
What
would-
if Vic like starts breathing again and becomes Red Hood?
well that's actually like I mean
That'd
it's
be
not
sick.
it's not gonna happen.
Batman throws him. Yeah,
Into
you're
the
right.
Lazarus
Throws,
Pit.
just like gets him like.
Well, that's what happened. Well, Red Hood. The funny thing is about
Because Batman's always watching.
the funny thing is Jason Todd, who's Red Hood, Batman in the comic books, Batman finds him because he goes back outside after like fighting somebody or whatever, and he sees some kid trying to steal the wheels off the Batmobile, and it's
Yeah.
Jason Todd, and he takes him in and like raises him and becomes Robin, but then he gets killed by the Joker, but like when he gets brought back to life, he becomes Red Hood.
Yeah, because he's crazy. Yeah.
So Vic was stealing Penguin's cars in the beginning
Mhm.
of the
So, like,
Penguin,
that's just like.
and then he dies. But I don't know. That's crazy. I don't think they would do that. Especially because Batman would have had to have found him like that.
What if he's like fighting his own battles? We just don't even know. And
They-
then he just turns the corner. Like, hey, what the hell?
they actually
like-
said that Vic was supposed to meet Bruce Wayne in the show.
Oh,
Like,
sir, give me money or something.
well, probably just like not Batman, but just the Bruce like running.
Yeah, no,
around.
no, I mean
Yeah.
like just like going to a state or something.
Especially because he's an orphan now.
But nobody, Penguin doesn't know Bruce is Batman.
No one knows that. That's
Nobody knows at all.
That's
Besides Catwoman.
she doesn't know that either.
Oh, not yet.
No, because she
I
just
thought
knows
she
that he's
got-
Batman.
Oh, I thought we knew that in the last movie.
No, the Riddler was saying like Bruce Wayne a lot to make it seem like he knew, but ultimately he was saying that name because Bruce was the next target,
Because
and he
just
wanted
to kill all the
Batman.
rich people. Yeah.
He wanted Batman to help him kill Bruce Wayne,
It's
and that's why
it's like Peter Parker taking his own picture.
that's why in the Batman when the Riddler's saying Bruce Wayne, Batman's like looking to the side, right, and just like fuck,
Shit.
I got doxxed. But then the moment Riddler says he's the one we couldn't get, Batman's like,
Wonder
well,
why.
hold up. All right. That's fine. He's like, Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, I just wonder what they're gonna do in this like next kind of in the sequel. Like, who's he even gonna fight? Who's gonna be the main bad guy? That's like the main issues
Evil
because
Avengers
you don't want
has
to
to be,
do like the same thing again.
because nobody's powerful. Nobody has powers. Neither
Yeah.
does he. But I feel like Evil Avengers makes sense. Like just a group of them.
Yeah, in DC they have like the Legion of Doom, where like Lex Luthor.
But that's like too like
well,
that's
like
powerful. Penguin's not that strong. I mean, he
Yeah.
just has drug money.
yeah. Penguin's not like a universe like a world villain.
But he's not even like evil. He's not like, I mean, he's kind of hurting people. Like
he's
drugs,
lo-
but
he's local
He's
evil.
just greedy.
No,
I mean, he's just greedy
He's
though.
yeah, he's a local issue. Like Lex Luthor is like a global issue
He'll, like, take
when
over
he
the
starts
world.
doing dumb shit, and Joker is like,
Yeah, Penguin's
Us-
just only concerned about Gotham. He's like, hey, I don't want
Yeah.
to expand.
and I think there's gonna be a time where like the Penguin interacts with Joker, and that's gonna be hilarious. Just watching that
He's like,
interaction.
the fuck are you?
This guy, yeah, fucking. I was gonna
The hell's wrong with you, man?
like, what was he saying? He's like, "Well, you didn't reach out to me. It really hoits me." Fucking, I was like, this guy's fucking crazy. His Colin Farrell. We didn't even talk about that. His ass.
Good actor.
Not only a fantastic actor, like you forget that it's even him. And you, I almost
That's
even,
a good. That's yeah.
I almost thought that like the actor of like or like Penguin is like, that's what he looks like, or like
I
there's
don't know
like
what he looks like besides that.
there's a guy that looks like the Penguin in real life running around, but that's not the case.
They just made him like look like with all the
Yeah,
makeup
because
and
Colin Farrell's
CGI.
like skinny.
They got rid of a fat suit like halfway through the season. right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's actually funny you mentioned that. Like at some point he's like fat as hell, and then
just
another
like-
point he's like lean as fuck.
No, he's like has a jacket, but like you can like see his like
Flat stomach.
like little thin shirt. It's like almost abs or whatever.
yeah,
like
he
just-
got jacked out of nowhere.
That's crazy.
But yeah, anything that
So-
we're missing.
I don't know.
Sophia and Arkham, that was pretty crazy. Like just seeing what they were doing
She
to
got
her,
back.
torturing her
Square
ass for
one.
no reason.
Square one. All that work. She just dipped
I'm
in Italy.
happy. I'm happy she didn't kill the daughter. I was scared.
Oh, what if she does something?
The daughter?
She knows stuff.
Um,
What if she goes to a therapist? They're just like, shut up.
well,
It's
the
like-
funny thing is, I think there's a character called Huntress, and she's like the daughter of like murdered mob people.
There's Lily.
Hey, man. But I mean, she's too young to be like fight because Huntress
They
is
probably do this. To,
Huntress
like,
is a good
They
character.
probably do this stuff just to like maybe
It's
if
like
they
a
want
little-
to, but otherwise they can just kind of like leave it. If
I
they
think it's
just
all like
wanna
sometimes.
go into it.
Yeah, I think sometimes it's just like a wink to the audience, like, "Hey, we know that you know, but
Yeah.
we can't do anything about it. But just hey,
We got the funds.
yeah." There was like something else that I was thinking of.
Um,
Oh yeah. So eyelash. Another part, like going back to the Court of Owls thing. I don't even know if it's in the, because in the comic books, I read the Court of Owls and City of Owls, and this person never came up. But in like the animated show, there was like a William Cobb who was like the head Talon,
mhm.
and Oswald's last name is Cobb.
What if one of his brothers alive?
No, but like actually, because the Talons are supposed to be like zombies, kind of.
Yeah. So like, what if somebody like found his brothers in the?
What were the
They don't even.
Brother's name was like one.
Look it up.
Benny.
Look it up.
Fucking. I'm done now looking shit up.
What's
It was like Benny and something else. Anyways,
Jack or something? I think it was Jack actually.
yeah, Jack and
But-
Benny. But yeah, that's like an interesting connection. I don't think that they will have them be connected, but if he's getting into the criminal, like upper echelon underworld or whatever, like with the Court of Owls, then that could be interesting.
What about Rex? This guy Rex.
Rex Calabrese, he's dead.
He's just like that's it. That's it. Like
He was just a flashback kind of guy, just to
like,
as
maybe
a-
like he has a like
they
kid or
needed
whatever. Yeah.
yeah.
Around now.
They needed Rex there to have Penguin's mom have someone be able to tell that her
Interact.
kid's fucked up,
Yeah.
and he could have made a decision, or they could have made a decision to kill him.
Yeah.
Someone that Penguin was looking up to.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, this guy's just a freakazoid. But anything else we're thinking about?
No, I think that's pretty good.
Excited for the new Batman to come out. I can't believe it's gonna be October 2026 when they're gonna release it. But in the
That's
meantime,
insane.
next year Superman's coming out, which is part of the DC universe, but it's gonna be separate from.
What's his bad guy? Do they know?
Um, I think that Lex Luthor is gonna be in it, but I don't know if he's gonna be the main bad guy. It's like they're gonna have like maybe like some like Brainiac shit.
Because he needs like powerful bad guys for Superman.
Yeah. So I'm very excited for that, but I'll have another episode of just breaking down what the future of the DCU is gonna look like. But go follow. I was gonna say my boy. It's gonna be my brother. Go follow Haroon on whatever. You want to give any shout outs to it, whatever your things are? I could even just put it underneath.
AM0_HM on Instagram. I don't even use anything else. Like, stopped using other social media. It's kind of just like saturated. But
all right, this kid's more mature than me. But anyways, I think we're all good here. See you guys. I was gonna say next week. Who knows the next episode?
This is not gonna be next week.
Peace.
See ya.